Trojan family, what's up, man? USCJ here. Listen, we got a big time game coming up this Saturday, and it is against the Cal Bears. Look, we're going to Berkeley. It's going to be one of the last times that we play there. Who knows what the future may hold? You guys know that we're going to the Big Ten. Cal's going to the ACC along with Stanford and USC. This is a long time rival. These two teams have big time history together. This is a big time game. While the national media might not label it as a big time game, we know that the Cal Bears are going to absolutely come gunning for the USC football Trojans, and they're actually led by two guys. It's going to be their quarterback, and it's going to be this guy right here, the running back. This guy's had major success against the USC football Trojans. So we're going to take a look at him. His name is Jaden Ott. He gave Auburn all they can handle. Everybody he plays, he absolutely scored against. So we're going to take a look at the Cal Bears, what challenges they will pose to the USC football Trojans, and just see exactly what USC needs to do in order to stop them. One thing I could say about Cal is every game that they've been in, whether it's the Auburn game, which they lost, I think it was 10-14, the Oregon State game, which they put up 40 points on Oregon State. That was at home. So, this is not a gimme game and by no means necessary. They're led by Coach Justin Wilcox, who actually used to be a defensive coordinator for USC. He's an absolute good coach, and he's a consistent coach. Hadn't had the most winningest record, but they do put a pretty decent defensive team on the field, a defensive team that's usually kind of somewhat in the middle of the pack. This year, we'll show you where they're ranked at, but this is the Cal Bears. We'll take a look at other information. As I stated, this is their running back, Jaden Ott, and you see him there running over the the Auburn defender. The guy's absolutely elusive. He's a big-time player, very consistent, a strong runner, man. A guy that, look, we've seen the same thing that they did in the Utah game against us with their running back. They will kick him out there as well, and he will run some wheel routes. This guy can absolutely catch the ball, has great hands. Running the ball, I mean, he's everything that you can possibly think of, and you'll see the play that I'm talking about, the wheel route. But everybody that he's played against, this was against us last year. You see him there, Bryson Shaw, trying to tackle him, and look, he will have guys lost in the sauce. Here's that. You can call it a screenplay, or you can call it a wheel route, whatever you want to call it. This guy goes up the sideline, and he does the same thing that the Utah running back does. And look, man, we got to be able to defend this, and we got to know, if I'm looking at it now on film, you got to know that the coaches, they better be looking at it. There it is right there once again. So we got to defend that very tough. And here you're going to see Jaden Ott here. This is his number, 6 feet, 200 pounds, and he has 104 carries as far as their quarterback. Fernando Mendoza, standing at 6'5", 220 pounds. This guy, he gets the ball out of his hands very quickly. They run a lot of short stuff like this, whether it's the quick strike passes up the middle or the quick flare outs, which I showed you guys with Jaden Ott that he likes to do. He works within the system, and they work according to how he's built. And you see him there. That's, again, that same pass that, USC absolutely has to get. I mean, we're able to see this now. I'm able to see this now on film. You guys are able to see it. There he is right there, though, standing at 6'5", 220, 356 yards on the season, 4 TDs, 2 INTs, and has a rating of 68.7. As I stated, they did put up big points on Oregon State. And here we're going to take a look at some of the numbers that he had. They put up 14 points against Utah, allowed 34 points, but his numbers there, he went 10 for 17, somewhat of efficient. I mean, he didn't throw the most passes in the world, but I mean, he kept it within what he's able to do according to his abilities. But 149 yards, 2 TDs, 1 INT, and you see Jaden out there as well, 8 carries for 46 yards. That was at Utah, so we can say that they did better than UCLA. I think UCLA lost that game 14-7 against Utah at Utah. So offensively, they probably put up a little bit more production than a team like UCLA. So they're not a team that's going to come and lay down. And we see here with the offensive production that they actually had during that Utah game was 254 yards, total yards, 2 turnovers, 16 first downs, and they had the ball for 22 minutes. So Utah really controlled the clock. And I think that's something that USC needs to absolutely do is control the clock with our offense. And we'll talk about that. But you see some of the numbers. And as we see here against a team like Oregon State, which I believe only has one loss, against Washington State, I believe Oregon State did beat that Utah team. But you see here, they put up 447 yards. Oregon State has a pretty decent defense. They put up 447 yards against Oregon State, and they had 2 turnovers, 22 first downs, and they only had the ball for 22 minutes and 43 seconds. So this team did and will put up numbers if you allow them to. And that's the key thing, if you allow them to. But if you're able to stop Ott and then follow him, put a spy on him, whatever you got to do out the backfield, and don't put Braylon Shelby on him, but maybe put like a Rajon Davis on him or somebody like that who's able to run with him. I think USC will be okay. And here you're going to see Mendoza, his numbers here, 21 for 32, 207 yards, 2 TDs against a team like Oregon State. And they had a different running back in here, but he went even with him, had 11 carries for 86 yards, 2 TDs. He's not as effective. He's good, but not as effective as Ott. For whatever reason, Ott was out of this game. And then you see their receiver, T. Davis, 7 receptions for 69 yards. So this team will put up some points. They will be effective. They won't necessarily kill themselves. And I think we're going to absolutely have to play some serious defense in order to win this game. This is not a given game by no means. All right, so USC will be going up against a defense that's ranked number 86 in the country. And the question is, how does USC expose this defense? And you guys already know, I've been driving it home pretty heavy as far as what we need to do running the ball. But when you look at Cal ranked number 86 and Washington, you see them ranked number 84. That's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that because they're coming up next week. I think USC has an opportunity there. But, of course, we got to take care of business this week. But they're not even considered, I guess, the middle of the pack. They're going toward the lower part of it. So when you look at this, USC has the opportunity to really do some things against the number 86 defense in the country. Here's how we're going to do it. And I've been driving it home. We're going to have to establish this guy, man. Really get this guy going like we've been doing every single week. Utilize Marshawn Lloyd to the fullest. It's straight up go time with Marshawn, man. It's on and popping, it's on and cracking. He has the ability to really do some things, and he is an effective back, having his best season playing college football. So I think once we get him going and continue to get him going, listen, don't stop getting him going. Keep him rolling all day long, and I believe that's going to open up everything in the pass game. USC will have opportunities, and as you see here, Marshawn Lloyd is ranked, does have 82 carries, 651 yards on the season, 6 TDs, 7.9 average, which is incredible. So this is a guy, man, standing at 5'9", 210, very compact. Last year against Cal, Mike Jack went off last year. Let's get Mike Jack established. Had, I believe, 115 yards receiving last year. This is a guy we need to get going against Cal once again. And if you look here at the actual game last year, you see USC won that game 41-35. That was at home against a 3-win team for Cal last year. Defense absolutely gave us some points. But you see here, Mike Jack went 5 receptions for 115 yards, 2 TDs. I don't understand. Of course, you guys already know we got Zach Branch that I think can be effective. Taj Washington that's going to be effective. Look, let's put Mike Jack in there, man. You got a guy that absolutely played lights out last year. I would like to see him in there a little bit more, way more. I mean, when you're talking about a game like this from last year, use the best guys that we have. And then, of course, you guys know we got the freshmen, Jacoby Lane and Deuce Robinson, some big-time mismatches. And I think USC, I mean, we can win these games if we just play our game and we utilize the players that we have. You see there, Caleb went for 26 for 41, 360 yards last year, 4 TDs. And you see their quarterback threw 406 yards on us. So this is a team that Caleb is going to have to play his game, man. Offensive line is going to have to block. And we're going to have to utilize each and every player that USC has on the field, the best players that we have to have some success in this game, to win this. And the biggest key to the game, I believe, is going to be this guy right here. We still haven't forgot who he is. He is that guy. He is the same guy. He hasn't been lost. He's not gone. That being said, my final score and prediction is going to be USC 38, Cal Bears 28. You guys drop those comments, drop those score predictions down in the comment sections. Let me know what you think. Listen, until later on, everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.